There's a small walnut-sized gland in a man's body that often becomes a big problem after age 50. It's the prostate, and when it starts to grow, slowly, quietly, it can turn everyday life into a nightly ordeal. Frequent bathroom trips, straining to start or finish, interrupted sleep, embarrassing moments. Many men try to tough it out, hoping it'll pass. Others end up on medications that trade one problem for another, with side effects that no man wants to talk about. But here's what might surprise you. There's a natural food. Something simple, affordable, and probably already in your kitchen that may help shrink an enlarged prostate and soothe the symptoms that come with it. And no, it's not a rare herb or an expensive supplement. It's a common fruit, used in sauces and soups all over the world. Before we reveal it, let's take a moment to understand what's really going on inside the aging male body. Prostate enlargement, or what doctors call benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, isn't cancer, but it can feel just as troubling, especially when it affects your sleep, confidence, and quality of life. The prostate sits just below the bladder and wraps around the urethra, the little tube that carries urine out of the body. As it grows, it squeezes that tube tighter and tighter, making it harder to go and harder to stop going. So what causes this growth? For years, experts pointed to a powerful hormone called DHT, dihydrotestosterone. It's a form of testosterone that gets converted in the body through a special enzyme. DHT is stronger and more aggressive than regular testosterone, and in younger years it helps build muscle and support male traits. But later in life, that same hormone may trigger the prostate to grow, sometimes too much. Some medications try to block that enzyme to reduce DHT and slow the growth. But, as with many medications, the side effects aren't easy to ignore. Lower libido, trouble with intimacy, and even an increased risk of developing more serious prostate issues. And in some men, stopping those meds causes a rebound effect, bringing back the symptoms, often worse than before. That's why many are turning to nature's solutions, which brings us to the one food that could quietly become your body's ally. The answer? Cooked tomatoes. Tomatoes are rich in a compound called lycopene, a natural pigment that gives them their red color. But lycopene does more than brighten your plate. It's a powerful antioxidant, and in several studies it's been linked to better prostate health. Researchers found that men who consumed more lycopene-rich foods were less likely to develop prostate problems, and for those already dealing with an enlarged prostate, symptoms were often milder. But here's the secret: raw tomatoes won't cut it. Lycopene becomes more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb and use it more easily when tomatoes are cooked. That's why tomato sauce, tomato paste, and even a hearty bowl of homemade tomato soup can pack a stronger punch than a raw slice on a salad. And when you add a little healthy fat, like olive oil, you help your body soak up even more of this prostate-friendly compound. Picture this: a warm pot of tomato and olive oil stew on the stove, slowly simmering on a Sunday afternoon. Not only is it comforting, it could be protecting your prostate at the same time. Now, let's be clear. Eating tomatoes isn't a cure, and it won't replace medical advice or ongoing care, but it may support your body's natural defense system. And for men looking to feel more in control of their health, that's no small thing. So, how often should you include cooked tomatoes? A couple of servings a week is a good place to start. That could mean adding tomato paste to soups or sauces, roasting cherry tomatoes with herbs and garlic, or enjoying a small dish of ratatouille or pasta primavera. The simpler the better, and always without added sugars, which can stir up inflammation in the body. And if you're someone who grows your own vegetables or shops at local farmers markets, even better. Fresh tomatoes that are in season tend to be richer in flavor and nutrients. Now, while lycopene takes the spotlight, it's not the only natural compound that may help. Let's talk about zinc, a mineral that's essential for prostate function. Your prostate actually stores more zinc than almost any other organ in the body, but as men age, zinc levels tend to drop. Some research suggests that getting enough zinc may help reduce prostate inflammation and support hormonal balance. You'll find zinc in foods like pumpkin seeds, lentils, chickpeas, and lean meats, or, if needed, in low-dose supplements. Another interesting player is resveratrol, a plant-based antioxidant found in red grapes and berries. While it's mostly known for heart health, some early studies show it may have protective effects on prostate cells too, helping to slow abnormal growth. It's not a magic bullet, but as part of a healthy lifestyle, it can contribute to overall wellness. Of course, just as there are foods that can help, there are others that can quietly make things worse, especially when it comes to prostate size and function. And one of the most surprising offenders is dairy. That's right, milk, cheese, even cream in your morning coffee. Many dairy products contain natural and added growth hormones. These hormones, while meant to stimulate milk production in cows, may also signal growth in human tissues, including the prostate. Several men have noticed that after consuming dairy, their urinary symptoms worsen the next morning. More urgency, more discomfort. While the science is still evolving, the pattern is worth paying attention to. If you've been dealing with BPH symptoms and you consume dairy regularly, try going dairy-free for a few weeks. See how your body responds. And remember, change doesn't have to be dramatic. Small, steady shifts, like replacing milk with almond milk or using olive oil instead of butter, can make a noticeable difference over time. Now, if you're thinking this all sounds too simple, a few tomatoes, some olive oil, a handful of pumpkin seeds, let's pause for a moment and ask the deeper question. Why does prostate health matter so much? Because this isn't just about trips to the bathroom. It's about independence, confidence, feeling like yourself, strong, capable, and free to live on your own terms. When something as basic as urinating becomes uncomfortable or unpredictable, it chips away at your day. It interrupts your rest. It affects how far you'll travel, whether you'll make plans, and even how connected you feel in your relationships. And that's what no one tells you about an enlarged prostate, the emotional weight it carries. So when we talk about tomatoes or lycopene or zinc, we're really talking about giving yourself one more tool, a quiet act of self-care that says, my health is worth the effort. Because this stage of life doesn't have to mean giving things up, it can mean doing things smarter, simpler, and more in tune with your body's needs. Now, here's something else you might not hear at the doctor's office. Stress can also play a role in how your prostate behaves. Long-term stress affects hormones, it increases inflammation, and when you're stressed, when sleep is poor, when you're feeling tense, your body doesn't heal, regulate, or function the way it should. That's why relaxation practices like walking, stretching, deep breathing, or even light gardening can be more powerful than you think. They help reset your system, lower inflammation, and support hormonal health, all of which benefit your prostate. And if you're still on the fence about making these small changes, remember this. You don't have to do everything all at once. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet. You just have to begin with one dish, one swap, one new habit. Maybe this week it's trying a tomato-based stew with olive oil and herbs. Next week it's replacing milk with oat or almond milk. Then maybe adding a few pumpkin seeds to your breakfast or snack. Each one is a small vote in favor of your body. Each one says, I care about feeling better. Now, here's a little-known fact that adds even more weight to all of this. In one major study, Men who had higher levels of lycopene in their blood were significantly less likely to develop aggressive prostate cancer. That doesn't mean lycopene is a miracle, but it does suggest something profound. That simple foods, eaten regularly, can shape the future of our health in quiet, powerful ways. And while medication has its place, nature offers answers that are gentler, safer, and longer lasting. Still, knowledge without action doesn't change much, so here's your gentle challenge. Over the next 7 days, try to include at least 2 servings of cooked tomato into your meals. Pair it with olive oil when you can. Pay attention to how you feel and start noticing patterns. Are your nights a little more restful? Do things feel just a little easier? These changes won't always shout, sometimes they whisper. Now, if you found this helpful, there's one more piece to the puzzle: the foods and habits that quietly worsen prostate issues. Even with the best food choices, certain things can undo the progress, often without you realizing it. We've put together a separate guide that walks you through the 4 biggest things to avoid if you want to protect your prostate. It's all in the next video, and it's just as important as what you eat. Because staying healthy isn't just about adding the good, it's also about removing the things that work against you. So before you reach for that next snack or pour that glass of milk, make sure you know what to steer clear of. Check out that video now and take the next step. Your body will thank you, and your future self will too.